Frankie, the security guy, just told me something I did not know, which is Stugotz is no longer allowed to smoke heaters in the parking garage.
Yep.
He's been banned from the parking garage. They're making him go outdoors and into the sunshine and toward the pool in order to get out of a smoky region here that's been bothering the locals.
He was banned from the pool as well.
Yeah. I was, yes. Yeah. It's a major inconvenience. I have to go all the way downstairs. I have to go outside. And I got to tell you, smoking a dart in a garage, one of my favorite places. It is. I mean, a dungy garage to smoke a heater is a great place to have a heater.
I disagree, but Charley Hull is with us. She's one of the 10 best golfers in the world. And also, she went viral recently because she's a bit of a kindred spirit. John Daly-esque in terms of just ripping a heater right after the 18th hole. We will not spend a lot of time here, Charley, I promise you, but I do just want to see if you agree with Stugotz on what he's saying, that a dungy parking garage is a good place to smoke a cigarette.
And I can think of a lot of better places to smoke a cigarette, including the US Open.
It is. You did look cooler, though. I don't know what it is about cigarettes that make people look cooler. It didn't seem to look right, but then I'm like, nah, she made it work. She made the whole thing work.
I know. I honestly, I don't know how it lit. Well, I was about to say lit up, because it actually generally did lit up. Like, honestly, I just can't. I'm from England, so everyone smokes in England. Probably on the golf course in casual games, but not in the US Open. But it was pretty mad, really, how it all kind of took off. I was just minding my own business, signing a few autographs. I was walking from the clubhouse to the range, and I had my hands full, and I thought, I'd smoke my last cigarette, and smoking it. And then someone asked me for an autograph, and I'd never turned down an autograph. So I was just literally doing that, and then someone took a picture of me. So there you go.
What's it like going viral for having a cigarette in your mouth instead of shooting, say, 6 under at Pebble Beach in the US Open?
I know, yeah, it was a bit different to last year. It was actually got more publicity about it than shooting 67 in the US Open, 600 in the US Open, 500 in the US Open last year. Honestly, I just thought it was a madness. I couldn't believe it. It was quite funny in the end, but listen, like, I still can't, I'm speechless from it. Listen, smoking's not good for you, and I know that 100%. Like, and people say, "No, it's so cool, this and that," which I do want to stop one day, obviously. And it's not good for your health, but it was pretty crazy, and it was a good fun week.
Can you explain to us what your anxiety levels are around golf? Like, you're obviously exceptional at it. You've been doing it for a long time, but I don't know what kind of stress you put on yourself while competing. Is it enjoyment more than anxiety?
Well, I love playing golf. I don't get anxious playing golf one bit at all. It's more my life at home that I get anxious about. I'm just like, I love being on the golf course. Being on the golf course is my getaway place, if you know what I mean, and it makes me feel good. But yeah, I'd say there is a lot of pressure on you to perform well and everything, but I'm just out there being me. And even though if I was lighting a cigarette, that's just me. And it's a lot of traveling, you know, back and forth from England. That is pretty hard. And literally, the weekend before the US Open, I split up with my boyfriend. I broke it off with him. And then someone said to me, "You're out there breaking darts and, smoking darts and breaking hearts." And I was like, yeah, literally.
Wow.
It was quite funny.
What is the expression? I think
darts,
I know
hearts.
that part I heard. But I think she said she broke it off on him. I guess you just you crushed him.
Yeah, it was a lovely guy, but it was never meant to be. But yeah, just someone said that to me, and I just started laughing in my head because it was,
You've said, you mentioned your life at home, and you have said you've got personality on the course, but you've said that you could have a TV show about your life off the course. What would that TV show look like? Why do you think it would be interesting?
Honestly, if you used to meet me and my friends, I think the golf would be cancelled, but there would be a lot of laughs on the TV. We're just pretty crazy, like literally not a care in the world, just out there having fun. We're all quite a bit of a, let's just say we're quite a fun crowd to be around.
That is ambiguous. I'm going to need some help here to sell this television show for you. What does this mean? You're just It's a rollicking gaggle of insanity.
Honestly, I can't let too much up about my personal life. But listen, we have a lot of fun, and I do not know what's going to come out my mouth next. They don't know what's going to come out my mouth next. We're just sat there giggling all the time. Like, honestly, it's a good old laugh at home.
Sometimes you're playing golf. It's very windy outside. I've experienced it. What is your strategy for lighting a cigarette in the wind?
Well, my caddie's got to the point now. He kind of moves his belly into the wind, so then I can use it as shelter, and then I light it that way.
Good. That's good. That's excellent. That is an excellent.
So proud of you.
Excellent use of the caddy.
How do you feel about putting cigarettes out on the green? I do it. I'm a hooligan though. Okay, but so
on the green.
Yeah,
I don't. I make sure I smoke my cigarette from the tee box. I did to the fairway, or from the fairway to the green, and just give it to my caddy after. And I wouldn't want to chuck it on the ground, because that would have made me look even worse at the US Open. But I give it to him, and he'll put it in his bib, and then put it out and put it in the bin. But there was one hole on the US Open, it was still a light, and it burnt a hole through the bib.
This poor caddy.
It's a dangerous game, smoking, Dan.
It can be a dangerous
He's a legend, though. My caddy's a legend. Literally, he'll go out the night before, have a few beers, and if he's had a few beers the night before, he caddies better than he does if he was sober, from the night before. It's crazy. He's a legend. He's Australian as well, so he's a cool guy.
What can you tell us about Australia and your life in Australia? Not with your friends, but what can you tell us about growing up there, growing up around golf, and that experience?
Well, I don't know, because I'm not from Australia. I'm from England. My caddie's from Australia.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I
misunderstood her. I thought did I misunderstand her? That's my bad. My fault there. Forgive me for my ignorance there.
I want to ask you a serious question. How many cigarettes per round
Stop
do you
with
go
the
through?
cigarettes.
I'm just wondering.
I promised her at the beginning that we wouldn't wear her out with the cigarettes.
Because, Dan, it's leading to something. I want to quit. She wants to quit. I want to quit with her. I think we're going to make a pact here. I'm just wondering how deep the smoking is. So for 18 holes, if you're left to your own devices, it's just you, how many cigarettes? Because I love, outside of a garage, the golf course is my second favorite place to have a cigarette.
Yeah, the views. I like a nice view and having a cigarette. We call them fags in England. But I literally, I don't know, probably about 5. I smoke 5, and then I try not to smoke many after that anyway. But listen, I literally I'm stopping now anyway. I've got to quit. I made a promise to myself and to my friend that I'm literally going to quit. So yeah, next tournament you won't see me smoking.
You say it and it means something. Stugotz promising to do it with you means nothing at all.
If Charlie quits, I quit. That's the deal. Okay.
His words mean nothing. He's been saying that he's going to do that for a while. Can you tell us what you think is the hardest or most interesting thing along the path to being a top 10 golfer in the world? This is not an easy place for you to arrive. The competition is pretty fierce throughout. When you think about the most interesting parts of your path to this, what do they look like? What do you mean? Say that again. So my path to the things. So I regard what you do as incredibly lonely. It is hard. The amount 100%. The amount of effort that it requires and concentration and focus to beat other people who are being competitive about wanting to do this for a living. The way that people get there is usually pretty interesting, and I'm wondering what you regard as the most interesting parts of your path.
Yeah. So it is very lonely. It's very hard with relationships as well. Obviously, coming back and forth from America, it can be very, very lonely in the time difference. Before you go to sleep, you're not really speaking to them because they're asleep. And it's just the travel kind of wears you out a lot. And then you're by yourself a lot. So it gives you more time to think in your head, which isn't a good thing because I'm an overthinker. So I kind of get myself in the gym a lot. I love going to the gym 6-7 times a week. I'm really, really smashing it. And that's kind of my getaway place. The gym and the golf course are my 2 getaway places. And hanging around with my good friend Georgia Hall. She's my best friend, and she's on tour as well. And we just hang out and chill and kind of try and inspire each other. But I love being out on that golf course. I love playing golf. Like literally, that's my favorite place to be. But it's just the whole other thing around it, the travel, being in the room for 12 hours by yourself. Like I do find that quite hard.
Is there a course that you haven't gotten to play yet professionally that you really want to play?
I'd love to play at Augusta. I've been there, I've watched it, but I think as a kid growing up watching golf on TV, Augusta National would be literally the cherry on top of the cake.
Stugotz, you can get her there, right?
Can I get her there on the course, playing the course? I can get her a ticket, and she can come with me if she likes.
You make false promises to everybody. You're not going to make one right now.
I'll get you on Augusta, okay, Charlie? If you quit smoking and I quit smoking, you and I will go smokeless throughout Augusta, okay? But that's a place where I'm dying to have a cigarette, Charlie.
Well, I know, but listen, I actually haven't had a cigarette in a good few days because I'm quitting. So there you go. Like, get me on Augusta.
This can't be helping this
You've
interview.
had 4 today, Stu.
I know, this is not
This
good.
hour.
I know, I promised her we wouldn't do this.
Charlie, I have a question about golf, and the U.S. Open is this weekend. The men are already complaining about the greens at Pinehurst, too. I have played that course. The greens are ridiculous, but boo-hoo, men. Like, seriously. For one weekend, you have to play a difficult course. You get to play all the nicest courses in the world. They're pristine. They're perfect. The greens are great. And this week should be tough. Do you agree or disagree with me?
I love a hard golf course. I wish they made more golf courses harder throughout the year. I like the majors. I wish they make them longer. But listen, everyone loves a challenge. Last week at the US Open, it was very, very, very fast greens. And it's almost a little bit too hard to putt on sometimes. But at the end of the day, it is the US Open. It is a challenge. And I'd rather be sitting in my armchair watching golf with the best players in the world struggling than I would see them shoot under par or shooting the lights out, because I find that way more interesting. And that's just my personal opinion.
The guy that just asked you that question plays golf about 6 times a week, but he still couldn't be more average at it.
Below average.
If you had only a
Yeah.
pitching wedge, you only have a pitching wedge, how bad are you beating him?
Oh, I think that's a bit of an ask. That would be quite tricky.
What club? If you could pick
How about
one
Like a
club.
pitching wedge all the way around. Imagine there's holes if I can't carry the. I play with a 6-iron. No, 7-iron.
So you would beat me with a 7, no putter.
What's your handicap? What's your handicap? What do you play off?
It's like a 25.
His handicap is playing golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if the golf course wasn't true, if a golf course wasn't too long, I think that, because obviously there's carries, I think I would give it a good shot.
Well, how long do you hit a 7-iron?
It's my 170 club.
You destroy me.
Yeah, I think you'd beat him up
Yeah.
pretty good.
170!
Before,
thing-
Oh, my God.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't hit a driver that far.
I know. You guys go ahead. It's okay.
You've been outspoken about your diagnosis of attention deficit disorder. You were just talking a moment ago about thoughts in your head. Golf helpful with this? Because I would imagine the concentration it requires is a perpetual test.
Yeah, I find it's quite hard when it's very slow out there. It gets worse. I do struggle with a lot of stuff, but I do find keeping busy and going to the gym is very important for me with my mindset. I've never really wanted to take the tablets, even though I was actually thinking about it earlier today, because I have up days and down days that maybe the tablets would be a good thing for me to do. But I'll probably look into that more into the winter. But yeah, being on the golf course and slow rounds, it can get in your head a lot, and long plane rides as well.
Was it helpful for you in any way to give it a name, to get a diagnosis? And
Yeah, it was very interesting. I've always been known to drink a lot of water. I know this will sound random, but a lot of water. And it just makes me feel better sometimes. And I was speaking to the doctor, and they do say when you feel a bit weird and you drink quite a bit of water when you have ADHD, it does make you feel better. So I've been doing stuff, like for ages that can help me, but didn't realize why. But it's because of my ADHD, and I can never sit still. My mind's overthinking. But then some days, if I crash out and I could just sleep for the longest I've ever slept for is 21 hours straight before.
That's a good sleep.
Man.
That's a good
and
sleep.
then other days I get 3 hours sleep. Like, it's crazy.
That's a bad sleep.
Lucy seemed
Yeah, very bad.
Lucy seemed
21 hours.
terribly jealous of your ability to get 21 straight hours of sleep.
16's been
But
my
I think
max.
I think that was from having like a consistent 3 weeks of like 3 hours sleep. And Georgia Hall, who plays on tour, kept ringing me because she thought I was dead. And I was like, no, Georgia, I've just been asleep. Now you've woke me up.
Oh, it would have been even longer than
You had a
20
few more hours
yeah,
in you?
It would have been 24 straight she was going for. Charley, thank you for tolerating our bombardment of cigarette questions. We appreciate it.
And Australia.
Thanks. I just want to say, kids, do not smoke. It is not good for you. I don't want to be a role model for smoking on anyone, but at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to stop. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, she's trying to stop, and she would like to not have any
4
more
days,
questions about that. Well, it's longer than you ever do.
I know. I'm impressed. I don't even know what it's like. Does it get easier after a day or two?
Charley, thank you for being on with us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
No worries. See
Charley.
you later.
Okay.
Bye.